You are being guided. This picture shows where you're going next. My beloved, pause for a moment. Breathe. The fact that you are here, reading these words now, is not coincidence. This moment has weight. It carries intention. You did not stumble into this message. You were gently led. Something within you recognized it before your mind could explain it. That quiet pull in your chest. That subtle sense of being addressed. That is real. You are seen. You are known. You are being guided. This picture before you is not just an image. It is a doorway, a whisper of what is unfolding. It holds a reflection of where your path is turning next, even if you cannot yet name it. You were meant to receive this now, at this exact point in your journey, because timing matters, and yours is precise. Stay with this message, my dear one. It has found you because you are ready. My precious soul, listen gently now. Not with effort, not with strain, but with the soft attention you give to something you love. Long before change announces itself in the outer world, it whispers within you. You have felt these whispers. They did not arrive loudly. They did not demand. They came quietly, respectfully, trusting that you would recognize their truth when the time was right. There have been moments when everything appeared calm, yet something inside you felt slightly off, as though your spirit was leaning forward while your life remained still. That subtle unease was not anxiety, it was awareness. It was the part of you that sees beyond the present moment, sensing that the ground beneath you is slowly shifting. You may have tried to explain it away. You may have told yourself you were overthinking, but deep down you knew it was something else. You noticed it in the way certain conversations began to feel heavy, even if the words were familiar. You noticed it when routines that once comforted you started to feel empty, as though they no longer nourished you. You noticed it in the quiet moments before sleep, when your thoughts drifted toward questions you hadn't asked before. Is this still right for me? Is there more I am meant to step into? These questions were not signs of dissatisfaction. They were invitations. There were gentle warnings too, not of danger, but of misalignment. A tightening in your chest when you considered staying the same. A sense of resistance when you imagined continuing down a path that once felt certain. These sensations were not meant to frighten you. They were meant to guide you back to yourself. Your inner wisdom does not shout because it trusts you. It knows you will listen when you are ready. You may have ignored these nudges at times, choosing to stay busy, to stay distracted, to stay practical. That is understandable, my dear one. Change can feel inconvenient. Listening inwardly can feel disruptive when the outer world expects consistency. The signs did not disappear. They returned in new forms, through repeated thoughts, through emotional reactions that surprised you, through a growing sense that something within you was asking to be acknowledged. Pay attention to how your body responded in certain situations. The sudden fatigue around certain people. The heaviness that lingered after decisions that didn't fully honor you. The quiet relief you felt when imagining release, even if you felt guilty for it. Your body is wise. It remembers what your mind tries to forget. These are not random sensations. They are communication. There may have been moments of longing you could not explain, a pull toward something undefined, a future you could sense but not yet see. This longing is sacred. It is not impatience. It is remembrance. It is the soul recognizing that it is ready to move closer to its truth. When you felt restless without knowing why, it was because you had already outgrown a version of your life that was once perfect for you. Notice how your tolerance for certain patterns has shifted. Things you once endured without question now ask something of you. This is growth. When awareness expands, tolerance for misalignment fades. That does not make you difficult. It makes you honest. You are no longer willing to ignore yourself, and that is a sign of awakening. The signs have also appeared in moments of silence, pauses that felt heavier than words, stillness that carried meaning. In those moments, something within you leaned forward, waiting for acknowledgement, waiting for permission, waiting for you to trust that the inner voice guiding you is not imagination, but wisdom refined through experience. Do not judge yourself for the times you hesitated. Even hesitation has taught you something. It showed you what no longer fits. It clarified what you cannot return to. Every ignored nudge still did its work. It planted awareness. It softened resistance. It prepared you for now. Something is shifting, my beloved, not because you are lacking, but because you are ready. The unease you felt was not a warning of harm. It was a signal of transition, a gentle alert that the season you were in is completing its purpose. Like the quiet change in air before dawn, you sensed it before you could see it. Stay with this message. Let it settle without urgency. These signs are not meant to rush you, only to align you. Trust that your inner world is communicating with love, not pressure. You are being guided with patience, with respect, with care. And the fact that you can feel the shift at all tells me something beautiful about you. You are listening now. My beloved, there are seasons in your life when it feels as though nothing is happening, when your prayers seem to echo in silence, and your efforts appear to dissolve into stillness. But hear this gently and deeply. Stillness is not absence. It is alignment in progress. While you waited, while you questioned your timing and doubted your direction, forces beyond your sight were carefully arranging what could not be rushed. Every delay you experienced was purposeful, not as punishment, not as denial, but as protection. There were paths you were not meant to walk yet, doors you were not meant to open until you were ready to carry what lay beyond them. If certain things had arrived earlier, they would have overwhelmed you, distracted you, or pulled you away from your true becoming. So time stretched, not to frustrate you, but to strengthen you. You may remember moments when plans dissolved without explanation, when opportunities faded just as you reached for them. At the time, it felt like loss. In truth, it was redirection. Destiny rarely moves in straight lines. It curves, it pauses, it circles back with deeper understanding. Each detour refined your discernment. Each pause taught you patience. Each unanswered hope reshaped your desire into something clearer, something truer. Behind what you could see, connections were being formed. People were being prepared. Circumstances were aligning in ways that required distance and time. You could not have forced this alignment, no matter how hard you tried. It required trust. It required surrender. And even when you felt you were failing at both, the movement continued. Destiny does not depend on your perfection. It responds to your willingness. There were moments when you questioned whether your inner voice had misled you, when doubt whispered that you had waited too long or missed your moment. Precious soul, nothing meant for you can be missed. What belongs to your path recognizes you. It waits when necessary. It returns when the timing is right. The unseen movement you could not track was always moving toward you, even when you felt lost. Consider how much has quietly changed within you during this waiting. Your boundaries strengthened. Your clarity sharpened. Your compassion deepened. These were not accidents. They were preparation. You are not the same person you were when you first desired what you are now moving toward. and that difference matters. What is coming requires the version of you that exists now, not the one you were then. There is a wisdom in the way life rearranges itself. When something left your life, it made room. When something stalled, it taught you endurance. When something confused you, it invited reflection. Even your moments of frustration carried purpose. They burned away illusions. They revealed what you truly value. They redirected your focus inward, where your most powerful guidance resides. You were never being tested. You were being shaped. Destiny is gentle. It is precise. It does not place you where you will shrink. It positions you where you will expand. That expansion requires readiness, and readiness is built quietly, often invisibly. While you thought you were waiting, you were becoming. The shift you sense now is the result of all that unseen work. The alignment is nearing the surface because the foundation has been laid. You have learned what you will no longer accept. You have discovered strengths you did not know you carried. You have softened where you once hardened and strengthened where you once bent too easily. This balance is not accidental. It is necessary. What is approaching you now arrives with intention. It carries the echo of your past hopes, refined by experience and anchored by wisdom. It is not here to rescue you. It is here to meet you as an equal participant in your own becoming. Destiny does not replace your agency. It partners with it. Trust that what unfolds next is not random. It is the natural result of 1,000 quiet adjustments you could not track, but that were made on your behalf. The unseen hands that guided you did so with care, never forcing, always preparing. You are stepping into a chapter that has been forming for longer than you realize. Hold this understanding close, my dear one. When things move slowly, it is because depth is being built. When clarity arrives suddenly, it is because alignment is complete. And now, as you stand on the edge of what comes next, know this with certainty: nothing in your journey has been wasted. Everything has been leading you here. My dear one, there comes a moment in every unfolding journey when the path grows quiet, and the decision becomes yours, alone. No sign flashes, no voice commands. Instead, there is a gentle pause, an invitation to notice where you are standing. You are here now, at a turning point that does not announce itself as dramatic, yet carries the weight of transformation. This moment asks not for haste, but for honesty. Within you, two currents are moving. One pulls you toward what is familiar, the rhythms you know, the patterns that have carried you this far. They offer safety because they are predictable. They do not challenge your identity. The other current pulls you toward expansion. It feels uncertain, undefined, and alive. It asks you to trust something you cannot yet see. This is not a battle between right and wrong. It is a choice between comfort and growth. Fear often disguises itself as practicality. It tells you to wait a little longer, to gather more certainty, to remain where things are manageable. But notice how waiting no longer brings peace. It brings heaviness, it brings restlessness. That is because the season of preparation is ending. Continuing to delay does not preserve stability, it drains your energy. Your spirit knows when it is time to move, even when your mind seeks reassurance. You may feel as though making a choice means closing doors forever. This is a common illusion. Choosing growth does not erase your past, it honors it by building upon it. The experiences you carry are not invalidated by movement, they are fulfilled by it. Remaining still out of fear does not protect what you love, it slowly distances you from your own truth. This turning point does not demand perfection. It does not ask you to be fearless. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the willingness to move despite it. What is being asked of you now is not a leap into chaos, but a step into alignment. The ground beneath you will meet you when you move. It always does. There is a subtle urgency in this moment, but it is not threatening. It is the natural pressure of a seed ready to break through the soil. If it remains buried too long, it does not stay safe. It begins to wither. Growth requires action. And while action feels risky, stagnation quietly erodes your sense of self. You may worry about disappointing others, about disrupting expectations, about stepping outside the version of you that people recognize. Understand this gently. You are never meant to remain understandable to everyone. Growth changes the way you are perceived, but it deepens the way you are aligned. Those who are meant to walk with you will adjust. Those who cannot were only meant for a season. Listen closely to what brings you a sense of quiet rightness, even if it frightens you. That feeling is not impulse, it is resonance. Your inner guidance does not push, it aligns. When you imagine choosing the path of growth, there may be fear, but beneath it, there is relief. That relief is your truth responding. This is not about abandoning responsibility, it is about responding to your own becoming. You have already learned what staying the same feels like. You know its limits. What lies ahead invites you to learn what you are capable of when you trust yourself fully. The choice before you is not between success and failure. It is between authenticity and avoidance. You are allowed to choose yourself without justification. You are allowed to move forward without having every answer. Clarity of 10 arrives after commitment, not before. The turning point you face now is not asking you to know the entire path, only to take the next honest step. Pause here, my beloved. Feel the weight of this moment without fear. You are not being rushed by external forces, you are being invited by your own readiness. The decision you make now will shape not just what happens next, but how you experience it. Choose the path that expands your breath, that steadies your heart, that aligns with who you are becoming. You are ready, even if you are still trembling. My beloved, release is often misunderstood. It is not an act of rejection, nor is it a declaration that what once sustained you was wrong. Release is an acknowledgement of completion. It is the gentle recognition that certain chapters have given you all they were meant to give. Holding on past this point does not honor the past. It burdens the future. There are ways of being that once protected you, identities you wore because they helped you survive, patterns you learned when you needed them most. They were not mistakes, they were scaffolding. And scaffolding is not meant to remain once the structure is strong. You have grown. What once held you upright now restricts your movement. Letting go is not betrayal of who you were, it is gratitude expressed through growth. You may feel resistance rising as you consider what needs to be released. This resistance does not mean you are unready, it means you are attached. Attachment is human. We bond to what is familiar because it carries memory, effort, and emotion. But familiar does not always mean aligned. Sometimes what feels safest is simply what we have rehearsed the most. May be relationships that once mirrored your growth, and now reflect your limitations. There may be habits that once soothed you, and now dull your awareness. There may be beliefs you adopted to make sense of the world, and now they confine your expansion. Releasing these does not mean you erase their impact. It means you no longer allow them to define your future. Loss is often feared in moments of transition, but what you are being asked to release is already loosening its grip. Notice how certain connections require more effort than resonance. Notice how certain routines feel heavier than grounding. This heaviness is not punishment, it is feedback. Your inner wisdom is signaling that you are ready for something that requires more space than your current life allows. Space is essential for growth. Just as breath requires emptiness to move, your becoming requires room. When you hold on to what is complete, you crowd out what is emerging. Letting go creates silence, and silence can feel uncomfortable. But within that silence, clarity forms. New desires find their voice. New opportunities recognize the opening. You may fear that releasing the old will leave you unanchored. Trust this: what is meant to stay will stay without force. What is meant to leave will resist every attempt to hold it. Release is not something you do to others or to circumstances. It is something you allow within yourself. You stop gripping. You stop negotiating. You stop explaining away your inner truth. There is tenderness required here. Release does not happen all at once. It unfolds in layers. Some things fall away quietly. Others require conscious choice. Be patient with yourself. You are unlearning while you are becoming. That takes time. Honor the grief that may arise, not as regret, but as proof that what you are releasing mattered. You are not being emptied. You are being prepared. What is coming next carries a different frequency, one that cannot enter a crowded space. It requires openness. It requires clarity. It requires you to trust that what aligns with your future will meet you when the path is clear. As you release, notice how your energy begins to return. Notice how your breath deepens. Notice how certain thoughts lose their urgency. This is not absence. This is alignment. You are returning to yourself, not as you were, but as you are becoming. Hold this understanding gently, my dear one. Let go not with force, but with gratitude. Thank what is leaving for what it taught you. Thank yourself for the courage to make room. You are not losing anything essential. You are shedding what no longer fits the shape of your destiny. And in that space, something beautiful is already moving toward you. My precious soul, rest here for a moment. Let your breath slow. Let the tension you have been carrying soften. You have not walked this path alone, not for a single step. Even in moments when you felt unseen, even when the silence felt heavy, you were held within a field of guidance that never withdrew from you. Presence does not always announce itself. Often, it surrounds quietly, waiting for you to notice. Protection does not mean the absence of difficulty. It means that nothing you faced was allowed to break you beyond repair. Look back gently, and you will see it. The way certain situations dissolved before causing deeper harm. The way clarity arrived just in time. The way strength surfaced when you thought you had none left. These were not coincidences. They were signs of care woven into your journey. You are guided in ways that honor your freedom. Guidance does not control, it nudges. It whispers through intuition, through sudden calm in the middle of uncertainty, through the quiet certainty that appears without logic. When you felt pulled away from something that looked good on the surface, that was guidance. When you felt drawn towards something you couldn't fully explain, that was guidance too. It has always spoken your language. There were moments when you doubted this inner knowing, when you questioned whether you were imagining it. That doubt did not disconnect you, it only slowed your trust. Guidance remains patient. It understands fear, it understands hesitation, It does not withdraw because you questioned it. It waits until you are ready to listen again. Notice how guidance feels in your body. It does not rush you, it does not shame you. It feels steady, calm, and quietly persistent. It feels like truth settling rather than excitement flaring. When a choice aligns with your path, even if it scares you, there is a softness beneath the fear, a sense of being supported. That softness is your signal. You are protected not from experience, but through experience. Every challenge you encountered refined your discernment. Every disappointment sharpened your awareness. You learned when to say no. You learned when to pause. You learned when to walk away and when to stay. These lessons were not accidental. They were armor shaped gently, without hardening your heart. Even now, guidance is adjusting around you. It responds to your readiness. As you release what no longer fits, support moves closer. As you choose honesty over comfort, clarity deepens. You are not required to see the entire path to be protected on it. You only need to stay present to the next step. When you feel uncertain, return inward. The guidance you seek is not distant, it lives in the quiet place where your breath slows and your thoughts soften. It speaks through what brings you peace rather than approval, through what feels true rather than impressive, through what steadies you rather than drains you. You may receive signs that feel subtle, repeated words, familiar themes, moments of recognition that stir something deep within you. Do not dismiss these as imagination. Guidance often repeats itself gently until it is received. It respects your timing, but it does not abandon its message. There is a deep tenderness in the way you are being guided now. No force, no pressure, only steady presence. You are allowed to ask for reassurance. You are allowed to pause. You are allowed to move forward slowly. Protection does not demand urgency, it offers stability. Trust that even your missteps are held. You do not fall off your path, you learn more about it. Correction happens naturally when you stay connected to yourself. The moment you realign, guidance meets you again, without judgment, without delay. Hold this close, my beloved. You are safe to become who you are meant to be. You are supported as you change. You are protected as you move forward. Let that knowing settle into your body. Let it calm your mind. You are not navigating this alone. You never have been, and you never will be. My beloved, there is a remembering happening within you now. Not something new being added, but something ancient being uncovered. Beneath the layers of adaptation, expectation, and survival, your true self has always waited patiently. It was never lost. It was simply resting until you were ready to live from it again. That readiness is awakening now. You have carried strength through seasons when you did not recognize it as strength. You called it endurance. You called it patience. You called it necessity. But I call it resilience born of wisdom. You kept going when your heart was tired. You adapted when you were uncertain. You learned when you were wounded. This is not accidental. It is the foundation of who you are becoming. Your worth has never been dependent on achievement, approval, or perfection. It has lived quietly within you, unchanged by circumstance. Yet there were times when you forgot this. When you measured yourself by what you produced, by how well you fit, by how little trouble you caused. Those measures were never yours to carry. As you awaken, you are releasing them. An identity built on survival asks, how do I stay safe? An identity rooted in truth asks, how do I live fully? You are shifting from one to the other. This is why confidence now feels different than it once did. It is not loud. It does not seek validation. It feels grounded, steady, and self-respecting. This confidence grows from alignment, not comparison. You are allowed to take up space, not through dominance but through presence. Your voice matters because it is yours. Your perspective carries value because it is shaped by lived experience. You do not need to explain yourself into acceptance. Those who recognize you will feel it. Those who do not are not meant to shape your identity. Purpose is not a role you must perform. It is a way of being you embody. It flows through how you move, how you speak, how you choose. As you step into your authentic self, purpose reveals itself naturally. You are not chasing destiny, you are aligning with it. Notice how your relationship with fear is changing. It no longer paralyzes you the way it once did. You can feel fear and still move. You can acknowledge uncertainty without surrendering your direction. This is mastery. This is growth. Courage is becoming familiar to you. There is power in your sensitivity, power in your discernment, power in your compassion. These qualities are not weaknesses to overcome. They are strengths to honor. You see deeply. You feel sincerely. You understand complexity. This awareness allows you to navigate life with wisdom rather than force. As you awaken to your identity, old labels fall away. You are no longer defined by what hurt you, what limited you, or what others expected of you. You are defined by your capacity to grow, to choose, to align. You are not becoming someone else, you are becoming more of you. Ourself. Let go of the need to rush this awakening. Identity unfolds through lived experience, not declaration. Each aligned choice reinforces who you are. Each boundary honored strengthens your sense of self. Each moment of self-trust deepens your confidence. This is how empowerment becomes embodied. You may notice others responding to you differently. Some will be drawn closer. Others may resist the change. This is natural. Your growth reflects their own relationship with change. Do not shrink to maintain comfort. Do not dim to preserve familiarity. Your expansion gives others permission to do the same, even if they do not realize it yet. Hold this truth, my dear one. You are capable of more than you have allowed yourself to imagine. Not more effort, but more alignment. Not more struggle, but more clarity. The awakening happening within you is not dramatic. It is steady, sustainable, real. You are stepping into a version of yourself that trusts, that chooses, that stands gently but firmly in truth. This is empowerment without aggression, confidence without ego, strength without hardness. You are remembering who you have always been, and this remembering is changing everything. My precious soul, come to rest here at the edge of what is unfolding. Let everything you have received settle softly within you, like light sinking into water. Nothing more is required of you in this moment except presence. You do not need to understand every step ahead. You do not need to feel completely ready. Readiness is not a feeling, it is a quiet agreement within your heart to continue. You have traveled far, even if the distance is not visible to others. The growth you carry does not announce itself loudly, yet it shapes everything you touch. Honor that. Honor the courage it took to arrive here, to listen inwardly, to stay open when closing would have felt easier. This openness is your strength now. As you move forward, move gently. Let trust be your pace. You do not need to force clarity or chase certainty. What belongs to you will meet you where you are aligned. When you feel unsure, return to what feels steady rather than what feels urgent. Urgency belongs to fear. Steadiness belongs to truth. Make a quiet commitment to yourself. not one spoken aloud but one felt deeply. A commitment to listen when your inner voice speaks softly. A commitment to pause when something feels misaligned. A commitment to choose honesty over comfort, even when it requires adjustment. These small commitments will guide you more reliably than any grand promise. You are allowed to move forward without needing permission. You are allowed to trust your timing. You are allowed to take up space in your own life. Let these permissions become your daily blessing. Let them remind you that you are not waiting to be chosen. You are choosing. When doubt arises, greet it with compassion rather than resistance. Doubt does not mean you are wrong, it means you care. Hold doubt gently, and it will soften. It does not need to be defeated, only understood. Trust that clarity will continue to emerge as you stay connected to yourself. There will be moments ahead when the path feels quiet again. Do not mistake quiet for absence. Guidance often speaks in calm. Presence often feels like stillness. When you feel alone, return to your breath. Return to the place within you that has carried you through every change so far. That place has never failed you. Let gratitude accompany you, not as obligation, but as recognition. Gratitude for what is leaving, for what is arriving, and for what remains steady. Gratitude anchors you in the present, where guidance is always available. Know this, my beloved, you are safe to continue, safe to grow, safe to change, safe to trust the unfolding of your life. You are not being led toward struggle, you are being led toward alignment, toward experiences that meet you in truth, toward a life that reflects who you are becoming. As you carry this message forward, let it become a quiet companion. Return to it when you need reassurance. Stay with it when uncertainty rises. Do not ignore what you have felt here. It was given to you with care. May your steps be steady and your heart remain open. May courage meet you gently when you need it. May trust deepen with each choice you make in alignment. You are guided. You are supported. You are deeply, unmistakably held. Receive this blessing. Hold it in your heart. And move forward knowing that the path ahead recognizes you and is ready for you now.